Hey guys, I'm back again. I'm making way too many videos, but at this point I just feel like I want to talk like all the time. 'Cause I'm limited, and when I have problems, I always talk to my mother, and now that she's dead, you know, I'm just kind of on here. Um, and it's weird because a lot of people find help in my videos, and a lot of people, like, you will criticize them, or some people just don't care either way, but I'm not even doing them for other people, I'm doing them for myself to document certain things, like, today I went back and looked at a couple videos I did, excuse me, in 2007, and I heard some similarities and like a lot of differences. And I've, looked at myself and just examined what I said and things that have changed, since then and everything. But today it's like, well, the past couple days, like I said, I was stressed out about the Florida move. And again, this is something that is a year from now, and I still feel the stress. I almost wish I just had the money now because it would ease me better just to get up and go. I don't like waiting. I'm not someone who prepares, really well with just sitting there dealing with something hanging over their head. I much rather, I mean, it'd be great if I got a scratch off ticket and it's like, oh, you won $5,000. It's like, okay, let's go now. Let's talk to the landlord and, get out of here. But that's not going to happen. And unless someone's going to send me $5,000, but that's not going to happen either. And so I'm just kind of in this funk where I'm still not eating properly. By no means am I not eating. I mean, I am. It's just I'm zoned out. I think it shows in my videos. I seem, to myself, I seem weird. I seem not getting enough sleep. Um, I've lost interest in watching television. Television's that great, but I have a pattern that I usually do, and all of a sudden my pattern's been, interrupted. And I just feel, I don't know what I feel, but I just feel like there's too much. That everything that's finally happened is too much to me. And between the death of my friend, the death of my mother, which I've said how many times now, having to move, my own health issues, I don't know how to cope because I've realized that in my childhood, no one ever taught me how to cope. And there's nothing in my adult experience that has ever taught me how to cope, with stress outside of what you always hear of take a deep breath, and all that stuff. And it's not going to help. I want to escape, but part of it's I want to escape from myself. So I don't want it to become this fantasy in my head that I go to Florida and I'm finally free from me, because it'll just be me sick in Florida. Um, I'm angry a lot of times, and I think that people can relate to this. No matter what you're going through, health issues or not, you are angry that you have to go through it. And it's not so much why me, oh, poor, pity me, all that stuff like that. It's just simply, sometimes it's just too much. You see all these other people, or what you perceive as other people, enjoying their lives and doing all these things, and you think that they're um, into the moment, into having a good time. Maybe they're not. Maybe they feel like crap too. Not everybody. Um, I think also people have to deal with a lot of coldness. Like, you can talk to somebody and you think, hey, this person's really a good person, and then you mention one problem that you have, and all of a sudden they're gone, like a lightning bolt. They're gone, and so that makes you feel alone in your situation. I sit here a lot of times and I do videos where I complain, which isn't the end all be all of me. It's just these moments that I feel boiling up inside of me that tell me, just do a video, do something. And my hope is, through embarrassing myself, through exposing myself, that someone will get something out of it. And, I was watching a show the other day, which I won't bring up what it was, maybe another time I will, but it was talking about enjoying your everyday life. And it showed people who were. And I cannot imagine enjoying anything. And I sort of think about that. I thought, wow, well, when was the last time I really enjoyed anything? And I thought back immediately to my childhood where I was friends with this girl named Colleen, and we went and used to build forts in bushes and in the woods and stuff like that. I have to remember we're like 5, 6, 7. And I remember not being able to sleep at night, like having to really try to fall asleep because I was so excited about the next day. And I can honestly say for the longest time in my life, I haven't had that emotion at all. I feel that any emotion that I do have is more from situations I've been in, but I feel that my emotion is more towards the negative section. And the positive emotions are very fleeting, for me. And I started to think, well, do people really enjoy, themselves as adults? Or is this something that everyone experiences and I'm just more focused on it than they are? Like maybe they don't realize that they're not truly enjoying themselves, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is basically people have a good time, or they seem to be having a good time. And in that, I feel more as the observer to them having the good time. And they're unable to read that I'm not having a good time, but I appear as if I am having a good time, if that makes sense. Um, I don't know how else to really explain that. There's a lot of emotions that I get where I just don't feel that they're the same as what everyone else is feeling. Um, Even outside of negative emotions, I feel that things that bring me joy, as brief as that is things that other people maybe not notice. Um, People very often, go to certain events in their life, like weddings. I could care less about weddings, and I know that so many people are so excited to get married, or excuse me, so excited to get married, or they're very excited that someone in their family is getting married, or maybe they're excited that someone in their family or a friend got a new job, or they're so proud of somebody. And these are emotions that I just no longer have. I don't know what it is. I don't feel proud of anybody. I'm not happy about anyone's achievements, usually, that I can think of. I can be happy in the sense that they've done something that's helped them, but I don't feel that emotion that I remember from a long time ago. I don't feel anything other than, like I said, negative emotions. And then there's also this thing where now on here I have where I talk about the negative side of me. I talk about my health issues. I talk about, concerns I have. But when it comes to other people, I used to be able to fake it. I used to be able to just say that I was fine, that everything was okay, and genuinely act concerned about their well-being. And now I'm finding that I can't even keep up that facade. People say, well, how are you doing? And even as much as I tell myself, tomorrow will be the day that you don't complain at all. You don't complain about how you feel. You don't complain about your sickness. You don't complain about anything. You're just going to keep it all inside. You're not going to say one word, and you're just going to try to retrain yourself to not feel this way. I find myself doing it anyway. And I don't know if that's because I feel so crappy, or if it's because I've trained myself to not be able to hold that in any longer, which could have taken years to start to come out of me. I remember times where, like I said, I remember times I used to hide it, and should I be hiding it? That's the other thing. Should I pretend as if I'm okay? Should I pretend as if everything's fine and just smile and that's great, I'm so happy for you, even though I feel absolutely nothing at all? And some people would say that's depression, but I don't think that's even depression. It's just simply, I just don't personally care. And maybe that makes me an awful person. Like, I don't want a friend to be miserable, and I'm kind of happy that they're excited about getting married. But if someone were to say, "Oh, are you happy for your friend?" I would say yes. But inside, I really don't care. And I don't know what that is, where I just don't care anymore. Has so much happened that I've been damaged in some way. I said to Keith the other night, um, kind of fishing to see if he's felt this way too, where I said that I seem okay and everything's, I can function like I'm normal, but behind my eyes, I feel like I'm dead and that I'm just here, but then I'm already dead. But not suicidal, not miserable, not I feel so sad I can't take it feeling it. It's nothing like that. It's just simply I no longer feel alive. And I don't know what that's about. It has a lot to do with when my mother died and my reaction to it, which I've complained about my reaction to it. There's someone that I was so close to, someone that I cared so much about, and it was just like she died, and it's just this glitch in my brain where I don't experience it, I don't feel it fully. My friend Yvonne, who died like a month to weeks before she died, this is someone I talked to on the phone. This is someone I wrote to all the time for over a year and a half. This is someone who was really nice to me when I was going through the benzo withdrawal. And she died. I found her obituary, and I told Keith that she had died, and I had this moment of sadness, and then poof, it's gone. And it wouldn't bother me so much except for the fact that I think it's hurting me on some level. I think that on some level it's disturbing my own health outside of the other illnesses or contributing to the other symptoms that I'm having. I don't know what happened to me in my life where I got so disconnected. I love my parents, but I grew up in a very emotionally abusive household. And in this, I never felt free to express myself. I never felt free to share my ideas and have them appreciate it. They were very often so cut down. I was always seen as many things that I'm not. And I always knew that I wasn't. But I lived in a realm where that was the truth. I don't even know how to explain this. Say another child did something great and the parents are, for that age group of the child, the parents are thrilled that the child did this. I would do it and oh, that's nice, go sit down. There was such a disconnect, and many people go home to an environment where maybe the parental figures aren't so great, even though they mean well. And then they go to school and have their friends. But see, I went to school and I had the same thing from teachers, the same thing from students of my peers, only worse, way worse from my peers. But I would go home and not tell my parents because on some level as a small child, maybe I felt that I would get in trouble. On some level, I don't know why, but I remember having that feeling that, oh, they'll yell at me because they yelled a lot. More so my father than my mother, but it was still there. So basically my situation was I was walking on eggshells at home, I was walking on eggshells at school, I was walking on eggshells with teachers, and there was just internal feeling of not being worthy, being different, and nothing that you think is acceptable, nothing that you can conceive or anything will be accepted. And then now, at the age I'm at now, I don't even feel like I care if anyone accepts it. It doesn't matter. That old programming is there, that old, let's put it this way. I do these videos, I talk online. I recently turned my old Facebook, which I have a couple of them, but my main Facebook, I have turned into a place where I will only post my own videos, from YouTube. And in my head, I still hear the voices of the children that taunted me when I was little. And so when I put them up on YouTube, I almost feel as if there's a panic inside of me, a panic that I will be judged the same way that I was before. And the worst part is sometimes I am, with the comments that I don't approve. So it's this perpetual circle, even though I don't care about what people say that's negative, but at the same time, it very much is the rebroadcast of what happened in my past. And so with being sick, I have found personally, I have not been forceful enough with doctors because I'm scared that that childhood voice of taunting will come back at me. This makes sense to me, by the way. I'm just having a hard time explaining it. It's just, when you're traumatized as a child, and then you're an adult, and you know that that no longer has anything to do with your life, there's still that part in your head that keeps replaying like this old broken record. And no matter what you do or what I have done so far to shut that record up, it's still there. And I'll say something now, and she may see this video. I used to hang out with people from my church when I was younger, and it was always, "You're so thin. Don't your parents care that you're so thin? You're so skinny. You're so skinny. You're so skinny." And I started eating massive amounts of food to gain weight. Now, my whole family's very thin at young ages. That's just our normal. That's just how it is. But we're talking, when I say thin, I would say 50 pounds down from where I am now. And I remember hanging out with this family all the time and being really close friends with them and spending the summer with them. And their entire family would watch me eat. They would watch how much I consumed. It was always, "Are you anorexic? Are you anorexic?" And all these things. And it made me so self-conscious that at one point I lost absolute control. I started drinking evaporated milk, which, if you don't know what that is, it's condensed milk in a can that's high in calories, high in saturated fat. I used to start mixing that with chocolate syrup. I started drinking Ensure. I started eating nothing but candy bars, chips, Doritos, cheese puffs, the cheese balls, the malt balls, everything. I just kept consuming it because my goal was gain weight. And no matter how much I ate, the weight wasn't moving, or I'd be disappointed because I consume an astronomical amount of calories and be a pound less the following week. It took this absolute toll on who I was. It made me be someone who weighed themselves every single day like an anorexic would, only I'm looking for the number to go up. My parents just kind of played along with it. They would buy all these evaporated milks for me, everything, never questioning like what's wrong, what's happening. And I really think that I damaged myself during those years because I didn't feel attractive. And you know what the sad truth is now? As an adult, looking back at the people, the very family that I hung around that made me feel that way, they were all obese. Every last one of them was obese. And they made me feel as if I wasn't attractive, as if I wasn't worthy, as if I wasn't that weight, that somehow people wouldn't like me. And I fought so hard to get to what I perceived as normal. And even now, people would say, "Well, you're thin." "Oh, I'm really normal." And I know that now. But to think that that got in my head and it ruined years of my life, like going swimming and, well, I'll go back to the swimming thing. I wouldn't swim with my shirt off back then because I was so, in my mind, too thin. So I liked my shirt on so I felt, safe that I wasn't, too thin. But now it's funny because I don't swim with my shirt off because I have an 8-inch scar on my back from the lung surgery, uh, and kind of a gut, So I keep my shirt on, but it's just a different reason than what I had before. And I just think so many things have interrupted what probably should have been, for me and for many, many, many people, a decent raising, um, a decent introductory into adulthood. And that's all I have to say for now. It's been 20 minutes, so I will talk about something later. But if any of you ever have a connection to me or advice for me, email me on YouTube. I read it. I may not reply, but a lot of things that people say stick in my head, and I look into things. So, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to try to really get some sleep tonight because I'm just seeing that I'm not making sense anymore. But hopefully you got something out of this video. And I really do care about people who watch the entire story. People who kind of skim through, I don't really care so much, about if they write to me, I can tell right away. But people who take the time to try to learn from me or to experience what I'm going through, have compassion, or just in general feel the connection to me because you've had the same or a very similar life. I just really do appreciate your time that you take, and I really would hope that you yourself, when you're ready, make videos like this because it will only help other people besides helping yourself. So that's it for today. I'll talk to you all soon, possibly tomorrow because I keep talking and I'll shut up. But anyway, bye. Vision's that great, but I have a pattern that I usually do, and all of a sudden my pattern's been, interrupted. And I just feel, I don't know what I feel, but I just feel like there's too much. That everything that's finally happened is too much to me. And between the death of my friend, the death of my mother, which I've said how many times now, having to move, my own health issues, I don't know how to cope because I've realized that in my childhood, no one ever taught me how to cope. And there's nothing in my adult experience now. Let's talk to the landlord and, get out of here. But that's not going to happen. And unless someone's going to send me $5,000, but that's not going to happen either. And so I'm just kind of in this funk where I'm still not eating properly. By no means am I not eating. I mean, I am. It's just I'm zoned out. I think it shows in my videos. I seem, to myself, I seem weird. I seem not getting enough sleep. I've lost interest in watching television. Hey guys, I'm back again. I'm making way too many videos, but at this point I just feel like I want to talk like all the time. Because I'm limited, and when I have problems, I always talk to my mother, and now that she's dead, I'm just kind of on here. And it's weird because a lot of people find help in my videos, and a lot of people, will criticize them, or some people just don't care either way, but I'm not even doing them for other people, I'm doing them for myself, to document certain things. Today I went back and looked at a couple videos I did, excuse me, in 2007, and I heard some similarities and a lot of differences, and I've looked at myself and just examined what I said and things that have changed since then and everything. But today it's the past couple days, like I said, I was stressed out about the Florida move, and again, this is something that is a year from now, and I still feel the stress. I almost wish I just had the money now because it would ease me better just to get up and go. I don't like waiting. I'm not someone who prepares, really well with just sitting there dealing with something hanging over their head. I much rather, it'd be great if I got a scratch-off ticket and it's like, oh, you won $5,000. It's like, okay, let's go. That has ever taught me how to cope, with stress outside of what you always hear of take a deep breath, and all that stuff, and it's not going to help. I want to escape, but part of it's I want to escape from myself. So I don't want it to become this fantasy in my head that I go to Florida and I'm finally free from me, because it'll just be me sick in Florida. I'm angry a lot of times, and I think that people can relate to this. No matter what you're going through, health issues or not, you are angry that you have to go through it.